everyone. So I'm here today with a little bit of a frog in my throat and a cut to you layout. I'm going to be working with an 8.5 by 11 layout, but I'm going to be using a cut file cut to 12 by 12. I'm going to show you how you can make this work for your projects. So what I'm going to do to begin with is I'm going to take this beautiful pattern paper. All of my products today are part of Coco Vanilla Studios' Unforgettable collection, which is just beautiful. I especially love this floral pattern paper, and so I wanted to make sure that I used it as a focal piece on this particular layout because I really wanted to kind of showcase that bit. So what I'm doing here is I'm cutting this floral paper to 8.5 by 11. I'm doing that because for the rest of this layout, I don't want, you'll kind of see, I don't want to mess it up. Let's just say that. Let's go with that. Let's say I don't want to mess it up. I have a very distinct plan for this page, and I don't want edges to not work the way that I want them to. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that both my background paper and that pattern paper are exactly the same size. So I am using Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and I am covering every nook and cranny of this cut file. And then I am sticking it and adhering it directly to one side of this page, this pattern paper. And I'm going to trim off the edges. But you can see here, I made sure that the top of the cut file was touching the top of the page because I want to get as much of this cut file into the finished product as I can. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing with the second part of this cut file. So this cut file is called the Leafy Sprig cut file, and it actually has two parts. It has two of these like leaf sprigs, and I'm going to use them both. And again, I did the same thing with this one. I made sure that it was bumped up right against what would be the bottom of the 8.5 by 11, and now I'm just trimming off the edges. I'm not going to color this one. I know, shocker, right? But I'm not going to color or ink up this one. I'm going to leave it a nice, bright, pretty white. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my fussy cutting scissors, and I'm going to fussy cut just the top. Oh, actually, right now I'm just scraping all the excess glue off of my media mat board, my glass media mat, which I love. It cleans up fabulously, but I didn't want any of that glue sticking to my layout as I continue to work with it. Pushing all this down. Now, I did wait a minute or two to make sure that this glue was good and dry because I didn't want to have any part of it lift up as I was cutting. I'm just cutting the outside edge of that cut file. Just the outside edge. I'm just going in and cutting the outside edge, and you can see what I did here. And now you understand why I made the background paper and that pattern paper exactly the same size. I'm going to go around the edges, and I'm going to ink up with some gray. There's a lot of gray in this particular collection, and I'm actually pulling some of the gray elements out for my layout. So I know that that adding this little bit of gray just to the edges of this cut file will make it kind of pop and create a lovely shadow on my finished project. So once I have that ink, if you're curious about the ink, it's just Tim Holtz Distress ink in Hickory Smoke. It's not the oxide, it's the regular Distress ink, which I prefer to ink the edges of things with the Hickory Smoke Distress ink, the regular, as opposed to the oxide. I think the oxide is much darker, and I like a light gray. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink that up. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over. I am going to use so much foam adhesive, it's not even funny. I'm going to flip this piece over, and I'm going to fill the entire background, and I mean the entire thing, with foam adhesive. All those little bits. I'm going to find little, I'm going to use my Doris strip adhesive. I'm going to use this adhesive, which is just Unfun Foam from Walmart. I'm going to use any kind of pop dot I have and just match up the sizes so that every bit of this particular cut file has lift to it. Okay, makes sense? I'll show you in a second. See? All done. Magic of YouTube. And now you can see why I made those patterns exactly, those two papers exactly the same size, because I wanted them to really be able to fit seamlessly on top of one another. And the cut file part is popped up. It provides all those beautiful shadows, and I love it. So this is going to be the photo I'm going to use. I actually might have already scrapbooked this photo. I don't remember, but I really love it, and I still have a copy of it in with my photos. So when I was flipping through photos that I have already printed and ready to go to scrapbook, I was like, oh yes, I feel like scrapbooking a baby today. So that's what we're going to do. This is a 4x6 photo. You could totally use a smaller photo for an 8.5 by 11 layout like this, but I just really like this photo, and I was happy to use the nice 8.5 or the 4x6 photo, which on an 8.5 by 11 layout, a 4x6 photo it becomes such a focal point, right? Because the sizing is different than when you're using 12 by 12. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to back the photo with this beautiful peachy pink paper. And my photo is going to go exactly where you saw it right there. I did this because I wanted my niece to be kind of looking up into the layout. And I'm going to follow her eye line and use her eye line to help with placement of my title, which I think turned out so cute. So now we're going to embellish a bit. I'm going to start with these flares. I haven't used any of the flares on the back from this collection yet. And I knew it had this one that was this pretty gray color, and I thought that it would be perfect down there in the corner. I'm also going to use these little enamel dots. So if you look at that cut file, you see how there's those cuts, part of the cut file, it has those little like berry looking things. That's the only thing I can think of to use them. Oh, and I'm going to grab a ribbon, a little bow. I'm trying to use the bows and the tassels. I have every part of this collection, and I'm trying to actually use all the parts of this collection. So, but I'm going to fill in all those little holes with an array of enamel dots, which is going to give me all the different colors in the collection on my layout, because then I'm going to go ahead and start layering up flowers, which are all the different colors in the collection. And I thought that those little berries, putting them into the cut file, would really help to coordinate and pull everything together at the end. And I think it turns out really, really pretty. And I love how that bow looks on top of that flare. I think it turned out so cool. So I'm going to use a lot of the floral ephemera. I think I need another pack of the floral ephemera. I will say this. So I have a lot of Cocoa Vanilla Studio in my stash. Tons and tons of it, because they seriously are one of my very favorite companies, scrapbooking companies. And I think I have just about every one of their lines. Some of them are just down to scraps, but still. But what I was going to say was, this particular ephemera pack in Unforgettable is just chock full of flowers, which I love. Love, 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 love. I almost want to hoard them, but I'm trying hard not to. So you can see how I am tucking the flowers up underneath the cut file. I'm really trying to incorporate the cut file right into the rest of my layout, so it all kind of seamlessly goes together. And I decided I still want some more flowers, but I really don't want to use any more of the flowers in the ephemera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 6x8 paper. I'm going to pull a few of the floral clusters that are on the small side and they're on the edges of the paper, and then I can kind of tuck them up underneath, and you won't even notice that they're not a full flower cluster, because they're going to go up and underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut these out, which, I mean, I just did those two little clusters there, so it wasn't like it was a huge time-consuming effort or anything. They were done fairly quickly. Oh, I did 3. I didn't do 2. I did 3. I thought I did 2, but I guess I cut another one up there too. Okay, so 3. So now I have all of my flowers and all of my embellishments ready to adhere, and I'm going to go ahead and glue everything down. I definitely used some wet glue on the bow just to make sure that that fabric was going to be good and stuck to the layout. And then the rest of it, I'm just going to use my tape runner. I have one of those. I mentioned this now and then, but then someone asks me, so every so often I like to kind of throw it out there that the tape runner I use is the Kokoyo long dot liner. I get mine at Amazon, and I scrapbook every day. Without exception, I am creating something every day, and these tape runner refills last me a month per refill, which is just phenomenal. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my title. So my title is going to be, I'm going to use this bloom from the Foam Words of the Unforgettable collection. And so what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go ahead and pair this foam title with some alphabets from my stash. This is Felicity Jane alphabets. I got them from the Secret Not Secret Kit Club. I asked Christina for some fun puffy alphas, and she did not disappoint. And I'm just going to go ahead and title this one Bloom Little One. And then I'm going to add this little sticker from this sticker sheet and add 5 months to that. And then to pull that black through the entire layout, this sticker sheet has these adorable, like ridiculous, adorable little black puffy hearts. And I'm going to add 3 little clusters of them around the layout. I think that this alphabet is so cute. But you can see how those little black puffy hearts that are part of that alphabet set just add that last little pop of black to pull everything together. And it also pulls in together, you know, we have the gray leaves, so the gray ink the flare badge is a little darker too. And I think this turned out so adorable. I love this technique with a cut file. If you're someone who doesn't like the idea of backing every little bit of a cut file, or if you're someone who primarily scrapbooks 8.5 by 11, these are 2 fantastic techniques that can work to make stunning layouts with cut files. Okay guys, I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye!